Welcome to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand.
We're back for another fan cam after another Anfield defeat. That's 6 in a row. Darren is with me, channel regular. Please, guys, let me know what you're thinking in the comments, as you have been. And of course, like this video, like it before we go any further. It takes you less than a second to do, but it helps us out. Subscribe if you haven't already. Darren, you say you give up. Talk to me, mate.
Yeah, look, it's lower than low at the moment, and what made that result today more painful was how predictable it was. Another, again, copy and paste job. Every game we've played at Anfield since West Brom the end of December, it's just been a copy and paste job. Too slow, too passive, no movement, no creativity. Just the attitude again, all wrong. No desire, no commitment. Every bad word at the moment that you can use sums up Liverpool. It really does. It's awful, awful to watch. I heard a few little things saying, "Oh, Klopp's under pressure," blah, blah, blah. Absolute nonsense. The players owe Klopp a lot more than what he owes them. Jurgen Klopp, his managerial approach, he demonstrates authority, consistency. He just has that in his DNA. And that's something that the players have lacked. The players have done nothing. They gave him nothing. Since Christmas, after we beat Spurs, we beat Palace, we beat Spurs, we're on looking good then. There was good authority about the team. We were passionate. We had a good approach about us. There's none of that at the moment. Absolute none of it. That's gone. When the players go over that white line, you just don't see any unity. You don't see the players going in for tackles, trying to win every second ball, trying to just obviously we're missing the fans. We know how much the Kop sucks that ball into the net in the second half. It's just none of that now, and it's like I touched on it a while ago, I alluded on it, Alex, might have been the last show I was on. It's like we're in a pre-season friendly in every game now at home. It's like, sure, it doesn't matter the result, it doesn't matter if we don't score. We have a big long season coming up. We don't want to get injured. We want to go into fresh and ready to go. And sure, what difference does winning games in pre-season do when you're going into a competitive league? That's what I'm getting from them. And you can talk, Jurgen Klopp today made 7 changes. He changed things around. He brought in Jota. Okay, probably should have went with Fabinho. He brought in Milner, who sets the tempo early. There's no excuses today. Absolutely no excuses out there today. Other than that, the players were just awful. Attitude was all wrong. And the mentality monsters, I think Jamie Carragher said it, it's now like mentality midgets.
Sorry, mate. Something happened there. Yeah, mentality monster's clearly gone now. There's a point here that David makes saying, Doyle Lad says that we've lost 6. We never lost 6 in a row. We are now the best and worst team in club football. I mean, the Mancs must be laughing all the way. I mean, they're at 1-0 up against City right now, Darren, but...
Well, they'd be laughing all the way. I mean, they're winning, but they're expected to win. They're still going to be, at best result today, 11 points behind the closest and nearest neighbours and their rivals. I mean, that they might this season become a great runner-up, but we were a great runner-up and all the stick and flack we took for it. So, I mean, a club of that stature and the hundreds of millions of managers that was changed over the years, they're no better than the first day David Moyes walked in. They're no better now than what they were there now than they were then. I mean, to get to semi-finals might come second, but again, if you're first, you're winners. If you're not, you're nothing. So I'm not going to worry about that. It might sound a bit bitter after this result, but I'm genuinely not worried and haven't worried about them all season. Once when we come toe-to-toe with them, we express ourselves in the way Liverpool should, and we get the result that we should, and that above all, we as fans is expecting.
Yeah, I mean, to actually, the thing for me is, I kind of can tell you now within the first 7 or 8 minutes if I know that we've got the bollocks or not to win a game. When was the last time? I'm actually thinking back to Crystal Palace 7-0 game, but please correct me if I'm wrong. When was the last time we started a game well and scored in the first half? Because the words intensity, the word pressing, the words high press, all these quotes that you're so used to seeing have all just fucked off out the window, basically.
We're the opposite to all that now. We're the complete opposite. I mean, I heard someone on one of the the match reactions there a while ago saying it's just a good thing that the Leipzig game now is in Budapest, not in Anfield. And who would have said that? 67 games unbeaten, an absolute fortress. You knew that you weren't going to be beaten. You knew that you were going to get players playing better. You knew that you were going to get goals. It was always the fear when Van Dijk, Gomez, Matip were out injured that we might concede stupid goals. And while using defenders, one was going to America on a scholarship, one was a non-league team last season playing. It was who was Reece Williams at last season? But whoever, and anyway, Kidderminster, you know, but like it's not even a matter now of the defence. It's our attackers that's struggling. Our midfield just not creative enough. And every time the ball goes into the final third, it's sideways. It's an odd shot here and there. No penetration in it. It's real half-hearted shot.
The loss of possession for me, though, Darren, that's something that we just didn't do. We're just passing it straight to the opposition these days. It's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah,
it's a joke.
Off the ball as well, we're doing nothing. We were so good off the ball that when the other team had possession, we were so good at closing them down. We were so good at fighting. We were so good at suffocating them, smudging teams where to the point that they gave away a stupid foul. We got something from it, a set piece, or he just gave it straight back to us, and we were good then at holding on possession and being creative. But as I said yesterday on the Kop to Bottom, that the only way I see Liverpool scoring a goal now at home is if they get a penalty or a huge slice of luck. And I looked at that game today and I'm sitting back and I'm saying, right, a penalty here gets us a goal, or a real big slice of luck, or a complete fuck up from Fulham. Because let's be honest, you can expect a fuck up from Fulham. They've only won 4 games all season, but no better place, I suppose, we want to get your 5th win than come to Anfield, because we're handing out points now at the moment. Do you know what I mean? It's like a car coming to a speed camera, and the car's going 90 miles an hour. We can only go 30. You're going to be getting handed out points, and we're handing them out. We're outside of Anfield. There you are. There's a tick. There's points for you. Shocking. It's just, look, we're lower and lower at the moment, and I mean, the season's done now, isn't it? It's a matter of between now and the end of the season, who has a chance to be in the team next season? Is there any kind of positives? Can Curtis Jones even come on to another level? That's all I'm looking at now between currently now and the end of the season. And as mad as all I'm saying all that, we probably now go into the last 8 of Europe midweek. Surely that has to happen. But I keep saying things can't get any worse than it is. 6 home league defeats in a row. That is absolutely shambolic. It's just, we've stank the place out. It's rotten to the core, it really is. And it's just, I would love to sit here and blame the manager, blame the owners, but we don't have the authority. We can't do that. It's the players. You can clearly see the players, a copy and paste job. Like someone has just said to me, I'm going to show you every game now, and if you didn't have to name the opposition up and maybe they're all wearing neutral colours, you think, sure, that's every game since we played West Brom at home. It's just replay after replay, same thing. Shocking.
You mentioned early on that you think that the players owe Klopp a lot more than the other way round. There was a comment just there from Graham Souness who says Jurgen Klopp has found out exactly what he's got in his dressing room. They've not stepped up. You win a trophy, enjoy it for a week. You don't think about it now. But I think some of them are still thinking about it. He says the only good thing is that we can play in a different competition in 3 days. This is Klopp speaking, and hopefully we can show there a different face. I mean, it's one thing showing a different face. It's one thing, performing well in the Champions League. But there's such a mental block now. There's such a mental block now about us winning at home. Our next home game isn't for 5 weeks against Aston Villa at home, and in between that, we've got a lot of big games. So Doyle, how do we get better than this? How do we stop this rot?
A goal would be nice, wouldn't it? A goal at home.
Yeah, imagine if we just scored a goal, honestly.
Look, Alex, we could sit here all night and go into specifics into what's wrong and look whether we're right or not, or wrong or not, but we have enough knowledge between us to know what has to be done. But for the start, get a goal and see what happens. Just get that first home goal. Don't give away on stupid. Like, I mean, today we can talk about not scoring, but what's Salah doing? I mean, so slow, so just takes it for granted that he's gonna get the ball. And then, like, if that was last season or the season before, Salah makes a fuck up like that, he goes down to the end of the scores one. There was none of that. He didn't look like he was gonna score today. So I'm usually disappointed today in the way we gave the goal away, and it wasn't to blame centre half, because I thought the centre half pairing today of Nat Phillips particularly and young Reece Williams, they didn't do that bad. They hadn't got a lot to do, but they were okay in their positions, and done the job, what was expected and required, but they weren't at fault for the goal. They didn't look anyway sluggish or really, out of depth, where you couldn't say that about all the rest of the players. Like, I mean, all the experience and the great attitude that James Milner has. I mean, that even was it in the second half, sorry, he gives that awful ball away and they run down Jurgen, it's Lookman. I mean, it's just not good enough. The movement, the slow, it's just no confidence. And I've talked about it here before. If you're confident, you can score worldies, you can pull points out of nowhere. But when it's the opposite, you have no confidence, you're missing sitters. Like, we're not even getting chances to miss sitters. It's just, I've ran out of words. I've ran out of words of anything good or bad to say, because it just seems like I'm saying the same thing. It's like copy and paste when I come on here, like watching Liverpool at Anfield. But some relief is we go to Budapest, we score 2 goals there. We're playing a team that will probably give us chances in Leipzig, but I just don't know. It's not a game I'm even looking forward to, because I'd say 70% now we're going to go through to the quarters, because we've refreshed things today. We'll bring back probably like Thiago, these big game players, and we'll probably just get enough we can even lose that game and still go through. So we're expected to do that, but then who do we get in the quarters, and where will we be in the league if by the time that comes around in a couple of weeks? So it's just awful. It really, it's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling is just all I can say. It's bonkers at the moment for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, obviously Wednesday night is a huge game. Jamie Lane says it could get worse even still this season. Another point here that David Lynch has made on Twitter, he says LFC now way beyond being able to blame injuries for all their ills this season. There's enough on the pitch currently to offer more than the woeful performances and relegation form that we're seeing. They look like a team who have been completely worked out and have no answer. I mean, I probably up till this week was even sick myself of hearing myself go on about the injuries. There is obviously a huge part to play in that, but if I was to put a percentage on it, right now, bro, I'd say it's 50% injuries and 50% we're just playing shit and we just don't have any answers. And we've been totally worked out and sussed out. Is that fair? 50-50?
It's the mindset, personnel, and attitude at the moment. I totally agree with you, Alex. I'm not going to disagree with you on that, because I'd be lying to you. It's 50% injuries and 50% of the mentality, the mindset. Something that Jurgen Klopp has implemented to this Liverpool squad massively over the years. Something that even when we had some shit players, you knew with Jurgen Klopp in charge what he was going to get out of players. Like when Brendan Rodgers departed and Jurgen Klopp came in, his first game was 0-0 at Spurs. Some of them players played their socks off. They'd done the basics right. But Jurgen Klopp, most importantly, got the basics out of him, and that was the tempo set. We went on to a League Cup final, Europa League final that year. A lot of good positives, you know what I mean, to come out that season. Then we went on, made signings. We were very shrewd in our transfer business. We were all talking about, well, Jurgen Klopp 7 years at Dortmund, he spent 45 or 50 million pounds, something like that, net spend at Dortmund, and he transformed that whole culture and club there. And he's doing the same at Liverpool. Obviously spent double that so far because of the transfer market now that we're in, the demands and the wages of players and how much the fees have went up. But it's the players not doing it for Jurgen Klopp. The players are just not working hard enough. They look like players to me that are burnt out and players that need to go back to reset mode, take 4 or 5 weeks off, go on a holiday, come back. The league table, everybody starts on 0 points. Bring in 2 or 3 signings, get back Van Dijk, Gomez, some of these players. The personnel then will obviously change, have a couple of pre-season friendlies and get back all over again. That's to me, I'm looking at the bigger picture here, and that's all I'm seeing. And I'm one to be positive, open-minded, but at the same time, you have to be realistic. And in this situation, you can be positive, of course, but you have to be realistic more likely. And I mean, as I said when I first come on, nonsense about even questioning Jurgen Klopp's job because of all he's done for us. He's been a god, brought us the first elusive league title, won us a Champions League, something that clubs have spent hundreds and hundreds of millions and haven't got close to winning. We take this for granted because we've broken records for the wrong reasons this season. But sure, records can change like that. We could go on a good run and we start breaking records again for good reason. So I'm not going to accept that. I really am, and I'm not one to say, well, maybe I'm not looking more specific that if it was any other club or manager, you look at Chelsea, they changed Lampard. But it's different there, different culture. This is Liverpool, this is a club, this is Jurgen Klopp, who's done so much good for us, who's had a lot of bad stuff this season that we didn't find out till weeks later. Maybe someone at the club should have came and gave him a bit of time out. You know what I mean? I just don't know, but it's a right mess at the moment, and the players have got themselves in this. They need to get out of this situation, and they need to back their manager and back the man who's made this club great again, and back a man that's made them. We talk about Jurgen Klopp doesn't buy superstars, he makes them. He's made a lot of these superstars, and he's made careers for this. These need to come out and back him and show their authority and show who's boss and whose side they're on it. That's what they need to do, and I'm not accepting anything else half-hearted. Like we seen a couple of weeks ago, Salah took to Twitter and rolled up, and I thought it was great gesture coming from him because there was a pressure that we'll keep fighting and fighting. And to be fair, he's got a couple of goals and he's looked alert, and in most games probably our best player. But we need more players coming out. You know what I mean? It's not about putting on social media. Go out and express themselves, have a go, put the chest out, show why we're Liverpool, and let's get digging deep again, because at the moment, shambolic, it really is. And I hate to be on here saying it, but it's a harsh reality.
Yeah, summed up perfectly there, Darren. Really, to be honest, man, I think I would rather get rid of every single player than before I get rid of Klopp, because, like you said, he's given them all so much joy and success, and it's really now time for them to start putting their fucking hands deep into their pockets and repaying him. To be honest, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. But listen, I'm going to go on and try and enjoy the rest of my weekend, bro. We'll have you back on Wednesday night for the Leipzig game. Hopefully it's a better result there. But, bro, it's very, very painful right now to be a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, absolutely. But hopefully in a couple of days, our mood is a bit better and the spirits are higher. And look, I mean, the European Cup, I'm one that's won a Premier League. I've got the tattoo of the Premier League on my calf. I know what it's about, but there's no better feeling than winning a European Cup. You're just held in higher regard, a different stature. And look, if we can have a good run on this, I'm not saying we're going to win it. I know I was on here a while ago, it was more of the excitement and the emotion straight after the game of going on and winning it and the stats that I was putting up. But if we can get by Leipzig, it just gives us something midweek to try and get through. And who knows, over 2 legs. But this thing in the league, it's gone. It's done, dusted at the moment, and it's sad to say. But let's take something positive and go on to the start of another week. Cheers, Jamie. Right, Alex, thank you, buddy. Take care.
Darren, all the best, mate. Take care. There you go, guys. That rounds off your fan cam action for yet another joke of a performance from Liverpool. The players really do have to start doing something to show how much they are going to back their manager, because the worst thing I would want from all of this is that the manager takes the blame when clearly the players are not fighting for him. They're just not doing what they're famous for. They're not running down a ball. They're not making anyone nervous to cause a mistake. They're just letting players run all over them and giving it straight back to them when they haven't got the ball. Anyway, I've had enough. I'm going to go and try and enjoy the rest of my weekend, as should you guys. Try and take your mind off of it. We'll see you back on Tuesday night for Top of the Cops, and then Wednesday we will be here again for the Champions League second leg against Leipzig. Take care.